Come on. Christ. Can't believe how much of my plan got fucked up because of Elon's stupid bullshit. On Twitter, at least. There's a guy that should have died before, instead of Paul Rubens. I'm making a video this weekend called, People Who Should Have Died Instead of Paul Rubens. I wonder if anyone responded to that comment. Oh, no one responded. I was ignored. Overlooked. I wonder how good I'd be in the advice department. Okay, anyways. Oh my god, I can't find it? No way. Did it get deleted? Okay, this video was published 2014. I remember I was in Ross's house when I was working on it. Oh, yeah, I found something. It's a beautiful pizza. Fuck. It's gotta be in here. Not here, then I have to find it. I have to literally try to find it. I have to find out where. This has to exist somewhere. For my emulators and ROMs. Ah. Okay, found it. Thanks. Oh, it's ridiculous. Sometimes it's a hunt. Alright, well. Pull this shit together. Got some videos lined up. I got some videos lined up. Not this channel. Get some news. Yeah, War on Peace.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. For the first time in U.S. history, a former president has been criminally charged with conspiring to overturn an election. On Tuesday, Donald Trump was indicted on 4 counts: conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an...
I exported this video in a format that cannot be used by DaVinci. Can I convert this? Yes, I can.
official proceeding, tampering with a witness, and conspiracy against the civil rights of citizens, the right of their vote to be counted. The indictment centers on Trump's efforts to stay in office after Joe Biden defeated him in November 2020. Trump, who is the Republican frontrunner in the 2024 race, now faces 2 federal indictments as well as a state indictment, a criminal case in New York. No other U.S. president has ever been indicted before. Trump also faces a possible 4th indictment in Georgia.
So we're going to indict the rest of Congress, too, and all these other fucking criminals that run our goddamn country into the ground. Can we do that next? I think we can get
Georgia for election interference. This is Special Counsel Jack Smith speaking Tuesday.
I give her prompts, too. I wish I knew her name, but I know she just doesn't really report. I mean, she doesn't necessarily give her her input on what she thinks of all this. She just reports on events. Something that news was supposed to do, and then kind of got away from that all.
The attack on our nation's capital on January 6th, 2021 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. Lies by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election.
Trump's lawyer, John Lauro, decried the indictment as a, quote, attack on free speech and political advocacy. The 45-page indictment also references 6 unnamed co-conspirators. It's believed the list includes 4 of Trump's lawyers, Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, Sidney Powell, and Kenneth Chesebro, as well as Jeffrey Clark, a former Justice Department official. Trump's trial has been assigned to District Judge Tanya Chutkan. She's an Obama appointee who's already overseen numerous cases linked to the January 6th insurrection, often sentencing defendants to longer terms than the prosecutors sought. We'll have more on the historic indictment after headlines. In related news, prosecutors in Michigan have charged 2 Trump allies over their attempts to illegally access and tamper with voting machines following the 2020 election. Matthew DePerno unsuccessfully ran as a Republican candidate to become Michigan's Attorney General last year. Dare Rendon is a former Republican state representative. They were both arraigned Tuesday, are due back in court next month. The American Civil Liberties Union of Colorado has sued the FBI, the Colorado Springs Police Department, and local officers for illegally searching the private Facebook messages of a local activist in the Chinook Center, a community organizing hub in Colorado Springs. The police also accessed the activist's cell phone, laptop, and external hard drives. This comes after revelations the FBI had infiltrated the Chinook Center by sending an undercover Colorado Springs detective to volunteer at the center in 2020. This was part of a broader FBI effort to infiltrate racial justice groups in Colorado after the police killing of George Floyd. A federal lawsuit brought by Iraqi torture survivors appears finally headed to trial after a federal judge refused to dismiss the case. The Iraqis are suing the U.S. military contractor Khaki, which was hired to provide interrogation services out of Abu Ghraib, an Iraqi prison where the men were tortured by U.S. guards. The lawsuit was first filed in 2008. Since then, Khaki has attempted 18 times to have the case dismissed. Burma's military rulers granted deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi a pardon in 5 of the 19 cases against her.
Remember when Obama said he was going to close Guantanamo Bay? That was hilarious.
Suu Kyi was ousted and detained in February 2021 military coup. She'll remain under house arrest. She's a Nobel Peace Prize winner who once fought against the Burmese military but later defended its genocide of Rohingya Muslims in 2017. On Monday, the military junta again extended a state of emergency and delayed elections that had been promised to take place this month. A local rights group says over 3,800 people have been killed in the military's crackdown on post-coup protests and over 24,000 people arrested.
Hello, I'm Craftyandyand these are my thoughts. Well, the live-action Last Airbender.
Thousands of people representing different indigenous communities arrived in Buenos Aires Tuesday as part of a protest caravan. Among their demands is a halt to lithium mining projects in their territories. This is Fabian Cruz of the Huancamaki Indigenous People Council.
these common resources of the people. We want to protect them. We understand there are multinational companies that come and take the lithium from Argentina, but leave nothing behind. They leave nothing for Argentina's development, and they strip the communities of their territory. To us, that is genocide.
Lithium is used in many electric devices, including electric cars, but its extraction causes soil degradation, water shortages, damage to ecosystems, and often displaces local communities and destroys existing landscapes.
Capitalism isn't freedom. Oligarchy due to big government corruption. Again, an issue better solved by the reduction of government size so they have less ability to rig the market in favor of people who bribe them to regulate their competitors.
Oh yeah, this is the libertarian bullshit. Okay, alright, it doesn't even take long to figure that out. The idea that just unregulated free market will somehow fix everything itself. Even though that's why we have the way the things are right now. If there was no government and there was just corporations, we just have their fucking stormtroopers from Amazonians and the Walmartins. We'll have the Walmartin force fight against the Amazonians. They'll be like fucking sycophants for whatever company hired them.
Than the United States.
But an easier way to understand this is to look at one of the examples that the
Bitcoin, when you can hold it and make some easy money. That's why the peak of Bitcoin being used to buy things was actually back in 2017, before its price really
Yeah. See, Ludlow Massacre. I should make a kids book about this. You want to talk about kids books? Make a kids book about Colorado Ludlow Massacre 1914. Oh, you know what? That sounds like a great idea. I'll do that after my mouse book is done. I'm going to start work on that. This will be great.
Sweden's defended its free speech laws and says it has no plans to change them amidst a growing backlash to public burnings of the Quran. The burnings, which have also taken place in Denmark, have triggered widespread international condemnation and protests in Muslim countries.
Fuck the Quran, fuck the Bible. Burn it all.
Back in the United States, Missouri Congressmember Cori Bush has reintroduced the Unhoused Bill of Rights, which could provide universal housing in the U.S. by 2027, helping some 1.5 million people who now live on the streets. Bush
Now we're looking at Salvation Army shit there, but okay.
Bush was herself once unhoused and forced to live in her car with her children. She said, quote, "We have the power and money to end the unhoused crisis. I
need to listen to this.
You should talk, walk, dress, the things you should like, the things you shouldn't like, what it means to be a man or a woman, telling you to pursue your dreams while at the same time culling them to be more practical."
And just because you've earned a degree in your chosen field, it doesn't mean you're going to find your dream job. Dream jobs are usually just that, dreams. But their imaginary existence just might keep you from exploring careers that offer a legitimate chance to perform meaningful work.
Pissing on people's fucking dreams.
I know what, dude. This is one of the lowest blows I've ever seen in one of these videos. Like literally, like fuck your dream. You're like every fucking '80s music video dad piece of shit that's like, you're not gonna be anything in your life, you little son of a bitch. Join the military. At least then you'll have 3 hots and a cot. Just be miserable. Yeah, you see that fucking, you're pumping a fucking septic tank out? Why don't you throw micro in head fucking first in the shit where he belongs?
Pressures of conforming to marrying someone and having kid units pumped out, whether you want them or not. Then add all of that with people being socially stunted, where they're singled out for ridicule.
What, dude?
Let's see. Yeah, put a title there.
Pressures of conforming to marrying someone and having kid units pumped out, whether you want them or not. Then add all of that with people being socially stunted, where they're singled out for ridicule by their peers and even coworkers. And worse, having a circle of friends that do the very same thing to you and then chastise you if you ever complain about it. It's a wonder that a lot of us manage to get through it without self-destructing, especially if you don't fall into the category of male, white, middle class, and straight. But the thing to remember to anyone else out there battling their own metaphorical demons, especially when it comes to the grade school and college periods of your life, all this stupid shit is temporary. Once you graduate, all those people you thought you knew are going to go by the wayside. You'll never see them again. Almost everyone I knew from high school, including my friends, have all gone their own way as our paths diverge. More importantly, staying focused on the aspects of bullying and isolation. The experience is something you'll carry, sure, but overall, when it comes to the length of your life, it's a blip on the radar. It's completely meaningless in the grand scheme of things. Take it from someone who's been out of both grade school and religion for 20 years now. Also, I want to emphasize a few other major things that helped me along the way. First was getting over the idea of seeking validation from strangers, parents, friends, If I concerned myself with that, I'd be married to my first girlfriend, elbow deep in debt, having a bunch of kids running around the apartment while I'm just trying to vegetate and watch the popular show of the evening. So once you get past that and just make up your own rules to your own life and live how you please, that helps. Second was just understanding the world around me and different people in it. I like to tout that I have friends from A to Z, and being someone that can be trusted with personal experiences and stories from other people. If you can't make those kind of connections, then at least I would suggest looking up on other people's true stories, history, and experiences in regards to different sexes, races, orientations. Even location is a factor in what people can go through. The People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn is a good start. Everyone's experience is valid. Everyone's pain is valid. Everyone's identity is valid. Unless you're a billionaire, of course. Empathy can go a long way in regards to having a more fulfilling life experience and connections with other human beings. Thank you for giving me your time. Be good and do good.
If you stuck around with this video, I appreciate it. I wanted to... If you stuck around with this video... Good. If you stuck around with this video, I appreciate it much. I wanted to at least... If you stuck around with this video, I appreciate it so much. I wanted to at least get a summary of my experience and share it with everybody. I am intending to do a full, in-depth compilation of all my experiences, including a lot of other things I left out on here. Other moments where I had some glory, other moments where I had some low points. I'll probably end up making it a series of videos. My main drive behind this is not... Alright, let's take... Wait a minute. I've already adjusted this. Anyways, more
Just need the will to reorient congressional priorities, she said. Here in New York, hundreds of migrants have been forced to sleep on the streets as Mayor Eric Adams declared there's no more room. He called out the Biden administration for failing to help as over 90,000 people arrived in New York City over the past year and a half. In July, the mayor said New York City would distribute flyers at the U.S.-Mexico border, telling asylum seekers to consider another city. Housing and rights advocates have blasted the Adams administration for its handling of the situation. This is Murad Awalda of the New York Immigration Coalition.
It's kind of another slap in the face to our, historical New Yorkers who've been here and our most recent arrivals who are just seeking a little bit of help in this moment. We need to actually stop doubling and tripling down on broken systems like our emergency shelter system and actually invest in getting people out of emergency shelter and into permanent housing.
New York officials are calling on the federal government to allow for expedited work permits for asylum seekers. In Long Island, New York, the suspect in the Gilgo Beach serial murders appeared in court Tuesday following his arrest last month. 59-year-old Rex Hoyerman is accused of murdering 3 women. He's also been named as the prime suspect in a 4th murder. He's pleaded not guilty. This is Suffolk County District Attorney Raymond Tierney.
The victims went missing between July of 2010 and July of 2007 and September of 2010. In December of 2010, they were their bodies were recovered. They were buried in a similar fashion, in a similar location, in a similar way. All the women were petite. They were they all did the same thing for a living. They all advertised the same way.
Murdering 3 women following his New York. The suspect in the Gilgo Beach seekers. In Long Island, New York, the suspect in the Gilgo Beach serial murders appeared in court Tuesday following his arrest last month. 59-year-old Rex Hoyerman is accused of murdering 3 women. He's also been named as the prime suspect in a 4th murder. He's pleaded not guilty. This is Suffolk County District Attorney Raymond Tierney.
The victims went missing between July of 2010 and September, July of 2007 and September of 2010.
Do it again.
And in December of 2010, they were their bodies were recovered. They were buried in a similar fashion, in a similar location, in a similar way. All the women were petite. They were they all did the same thing for a living. They all advertised the same way.
The four victims were Maureen Brainerd Barnes, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. The bodies of another 7 people, including a man and a toddler, were also found in the same time period. The family members of the 4 women have accused police and the media for failing to pursue justice for their loved ones because they were sex workers.
Yep, that's about right. That's par for the course. Every serial killer I've ever heard news about that involves like serial prostitutes and shit like that, even people who like survive or get away, cops usually ignore them. Even in Canada, they're guilty of this stupid shit too.
Rex Hoyerman is an architect who worked in Manhattan. Following his arrest, authorities searched his Massapequa Park home, where they found an arsenal of 279 weapons. Elsewhere in New York, public hospital nurses are celebrating after winning contract negotiations, which include wage increases to achieve parity with private hospital nurses and measures to improve staffing and retention. Crystal Sims-Murphy of the New York State Nurses Association said, quote, "The public sector is a lifeline for New York City's most vulnerable patients, who are mostly Black and brown, immigrant and low-income New Yorkers. They deserve equitable, quality care, and this contract can help deliver it," she said. In other labor news, the trucking company Yellow is shutting down and will reportedly file for bankruptcy. 30,000 people could lose their jobs. The president of the Teamsters, which represents over 2/3 of Yellow workers, said, quote, "Yellow's historically proven that it could not manage itself despite billions of dollars in worker concessions and hundreds of millions in bailout funding from the federal government," unquote. Yellow received $700 million from the government in a pandemic-era bailout, despite the company facing a lawsuit from the Justice Department for allegedly defrauding the federal government. The family of Henrietta Lacks, a Black cancer patient whose cells were taken by Johns Hopkins University Hospital without her consent in 1951, has settled with pharmaceutical company Thermo Fisher Scientific. Henrietta Lacks' family has denounced the racist medical system that allowed the biotech company to make billions in profit from the HeLa cell line, from the name Henrietta Lacks, which helped produce remedies for multiple diseases, including the first polio vaccine. Details of the settlement were not made public, but the plaintiff celebrated the lawsuit's resolution, which came Tuesday on Henrietta Lacks' birthday. This is her grandson, Alfred Lacks.
Our family member, our loved one, Henrietta Lacks, 103 years old today. And as Ben said, today, it couldn't have been a more fitting day for her to have justice. Yeah. For her family to have relief. It was a long fight. It was a long fight.
You think?
Over 70 years. And Henrietta Lacks gets her day.
To see all of our coverage of Henrietta Lacks and this case, go to democracynow.org.
Well, at least her surviving family won't get a little easier time.
Roberto Cintley Rodriguez has died at the age of 69. His books include Justice, A Question of Race, which chronicled his quest for justice after being brutally beaten in 1979 by 4 sheriff deputies in East Los Angeles while he was on a reporting assignment for Lowrider magazine. In 1986, a jury awarded him $205,000, which he used to start a bilingual magazine. He later became a Mexican-American Studies professor at the University of Arizona. He also served as director of the Raza Database Project to track the killing of Latinos, Asian, and indigenous people by law enforcement. He appeared on Democracy Now! In 2021.
And then again, it's all about dehumanization. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I tracked this violence to 1492, which means when Europeans came here, they decided that the people here, like myself, that we were not human. Africans that were brought here also were not human, according to them. In my opinion, it's the same dynamic taking place today. Otherwise, we wouldn't see this massive amount of both the killings and the disparity.
Roberto Simply Rodriguez speaking in 2021. He's died at the age of 69. To see our interviews with him, go to democracynow.org.
On March 6th, 2015, Rudolph.
I'll just save that for later. Why am I blurry here? Oh, I did a blur transition, didn't I? Yep. Gonna cross dissolve that shit, man. Use the jump cuts.
Some reading later.
Take the adjustment off. Way back. Timeline proxy handling quarter.
Reading later. After the night, I got inspired to write all mile, and I would just snap out of it and move on with my day. This time it reached a boiling point and I just got sick of reliving the same shit. I don't intend to ever forget it though, especially now that I have a handle on it for good. I feel that a lot of adults forget what it's like growing up as a kid and teenager and even young adult in some cases. And that's where you get this disconnect and they start blaming their problems. That's where you get this young adult and some young adult even young adult in some cases. Cases. That's where you get this disconnect. Pressures of conforming to marrying someone and having.
If you stuck around with this video, alright. Let's try to get credits together now.
History and experience. Everyone's experience. Girlfriend, elbow deep in debt, having a bunch of standing the world around me and after and what people might go through. The people's history.
Image of that. What's this?
I haven't seen you in a minute, Dave. You seem different?
Oh yeah, I've been really working on myself since college.
Oh.
I listen to a lot of entrepreneur podcasters, trying to maximize my potential. And I've been eating healthy. My body is a machine, and it just needs the right inputs.
Oh yeah, it's cool, I guess. Have you been following?
Debunking Howard Zinn, exposing the fake history that turned a generation against America. Ooh, interesting. The young people's history of the United States. Oh, yeah. Okay, there's a more friendly version of it. Let's see. Shit in this book that I don't really care about so far. I think that's it. American history is nothing more than a litany of oppression, slavery, and exploitation. Man, I kind of already knew that before reading this fucking book. This book is kind of like that book the main character in 1984 reads, and then later in his interrogation, he kind of acknowledged that it really wasn't much new information for him about how that world worked, just that it was more of a confirmation. Is there any funny books? I mean, videos. Any funny videos on this? Because it's not just Howard Zinn. It's not like it's a Bible of history. There's plenty of other historical accounts of the treatment of natives, slaves, all this other shit. If he's wrong about like the Japanese internment camps being secret, so fucking what? That doesn't change the fact that they still happened, now did it? Oh, PragerU.
The writer of the most popular and influential history book of
Oh man, this is I'm about done with this book. I would love to do a reaction to this fucking video and commentate on it. This will be and I'll do it as a furry too. I'll get Michael Ringtail on it. Yeah, I'm gonna hand it over to him.
the last quarter century was a radical leftist professor who despised his subject. The writer's name is Howard Zinn, and his subject is America. Zinn died in 2010, but his toxic theme lives on. America is and has always been a cesspool of racism, imperialism, and capitalist exploitation.
And so have many other countries too.
You may never have heard of Zinn, but I assure you, a history teacher at your local high school or college has, and probably teaches his texts or ideas. The book Zinn wrote is entitled A People's History of the United States. If you're trying to understand why so many young people lack patriotism, or worse, regard America with contempt, you don't have to look much further than Zinn. Where did the idea that Columbus was evil come from?
The fact that he murdered a bunch of natives? I don't know. It certainly didn't just come from him. It didn't come out of a fucking vacuum. You only need an antidote to Zinn. whitewashing. There we go. I'll just declare whitewashing. It seems so far. Can I not spell Japanese?
Lincoln wasn't really interested in freeing the slaves.
Lincoln has letters indicating that he did not necessarily entirely care about the slaves being freed.
The Allies weren't any better than the Nazis and the Japanese in World War II.
In some ways, yeah.
The Vietnam War was not about stopping the spread of communism, but about promoting American imperialism.
Yes, we want them under our thumb.
Zin, how do
They had nothing.
you take an essentially decent country and turn it
The United States by Howard Zinn is a good.
Oh, yeah, I just wanted the picture. Do, 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 do. You know what? I think after I'm done with this video too, in between work on the book, I'm gonna go back to having at least a day of gaming.
People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn is a good start. Everyone's experience is valid. Everyone's pain is valid. Everyone's identity is valid.
into the source of much of the world's evil? Well, you just have to lie, distort, and falsify.
I would love to see him debunk this entire book in 5 minutes.
Zinn did all three. A lifelong and passionate leftist, everything he ever said or wrote was in service of the Marxist dogma that life is a class struggle. Distilled to its...
If you live as long as I have and don't consider life a class struggle, if you had to like actually claw your way out of abject poverty and don't think that life is a class struggle in any way, you're a fucking moron and you're disconnected from reality. You likely were sheltered, or you got shoehorned into your position from mommy or daddy's work, and you never had to actually. Yeah. All you had to do is put in the bare minimum to get where you are.
Its essence, this simply means that those who have power are bad, and those who don't are good.
No. It's a matter of what's done to maintain the power some people have. And what is necessary in order for those people to keep their positions of power. Do we not see it? See, I'm already getting good counters on this. I can write this shit up. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, this is gonna be good. I actually read the fucking book, so now I can actually counter it.
Other human beings. Thank you for giving me your time. Be good and do good.
Let's see, is the music too loud?
If you stuck around with this video, I appreciate it so much. I wanted to at least get a summary of my experience and share it with everybody. I am intending to do a full, in-depth compilation of all my experiences, including a lot of other things I left out on here. Other moments where I had some glory, other moments where I had some low points. I'll probably end up making it a series of videos. My main drive behind this is not...
Alright, okay. What do we do here? I know. Demons. Okay. Got that.
There. So just go back.
Alright, so I just want to get in order all the clips. Trying to get in order. So. Okay. Todd McFarlane. Spawn. Make sure I spell his name right.
It doesn't get better unless you're pretty. It doesn't get better unless you get money. It does get wrong more pretty.
Duck. Carbine. High Massacre. A Serbian film.
It doesn't get better, please. Yes.
Justice Unlimited. Where the man has everything. Man who has everything. Mindless self indulgence. It gets worse.
Crafty. Today, definitely be. Got home.
Fully.
Break through. Sometimes. If they're fun.
When did that come out? Well, let's see. Movies I can live stream. Too bad. Throughout shows, I took their call. Was continues. I was the class plaything.
Your only connection to these kids is that they like to pound on you.
Everything I did was wrong. How I talked, walked, dressed, having a Genesis over a Super Nintendo, the TV shows I watched, not enjoying sports.
What is... Oh yeah, it's an AI image too I pulled. Let's see. These... That... Name of it. Oh, there it is.
This TV. not enjoying all that's funny. That's what was our arrangement. Like my parents didn't return out of me to spare my TV. Budding set in as I majority of my time at home lost in my own head. I'm delutes thinking to me, fitting some violent room coming all that between old.
How it's spelled? Project Geeker. I really hated the show, but I liked the fact that there was dinosaurs in it.
The future. Mr. Moloch created me, an artificial human codenamed Project GKR. I am known as Geeker, and my synthetic body has almost unlimited power. Moloch plans to use me to conquer the world. But Lady Macbeth, a streetwise thief, stole me before I could receive the programming which would force me to be Moloch's fighting machine. Lady Macbeth was helped by a super intelligent dinosaur, Noah. That's me, Geeker.
And that's me.
It's too bad I can't control my powers better, because Mr. Moloch wants me back really bad. And without Lady Macbeth and Noah, I'd be a bucket of extra crispy. The future is me to conquer the world. But Lady Macbeth, a streetwise thief, stole me before I could receive the programming which would force me to be Moloch's fighting machine. Lady Macbeth was helped by a super intelligent dinosaur, Noah. That's me, Geeker.
And that's me.
It's too bad I can't control my powers better, because Mr. Moloch wants me back really bad. And without Lady Macbeth and Noah, I'd be a bucket of extra crispy.
By this daddy of a cop with his daddy cop walk and his daddy cop arms and his daddy cop butt. Ow!
Arrest me, make it sexy. What? It's catchy.
Fucking cop TV shows are the fucking worst. I bet TV is as wholesome as ever, too. If I ever see TV shows again, I bet you just, like, is as sanitized as it could get.
Off the walls. At times, I tried that was happening. Sinkholing, being my kid logic, proposing the idea of being a murderer or serial killer. Or...
Let me in. Oh, it was 2010.
I'll pay. After knocking knife moment that I was prepared to hold of when the same me and to see
this. Come on.
I came to the realization that there was no real thing, reset in the mental reminds us of a here you have a gain of kids my situation my situations from then on. A lot of the days leading up to my teens consisted in order to be alone until dinner was ready. In an effort to be ignored or possibly fit into some degree, I would refrain from expressing any more interest in anything. Allow myself, whether it be my siblings witnessing it or my parents somehow being friends with the parents of my tormentors, I wasn't sure, but I just did not want any risk at all of yet more reasons to be hated. I imagine to some degree this relates to a lot of people growing up, but I would pretend to hate things I didn't hate. I would always, in regards to hate what the arts, also especially the all and the, you know, here you have a gang of kids all friends with each other, different shapes and sizes, different demeanors, different tastes, yet they're able to paper it all magazines. I would work on my ability from there, because art is, and thinking middle school would be some real end breakdowns, minding my own day, me and following me through every class. Fan of Half-Life, except no one outside of me knew what the fuck Half-Life was.
You want to suck a brontosaurus dick? You want to suck?
Fuck a dinosaur? What are you drawing dinosaurs for?
You want to suck a brontosaurus dick? You want to suck a brontosaurus dick?
I'll never forget one of the mocking requests. And for that maze. I met down at my drop. When kicked on broken of teams, I from and I was like a broken goods.
Make you feel
anymore.
Alright. Who's this freak here?
Another night in case exchange influence site itself. Down on Utah potential. I did have care actually of what the fuck this all was. It was a deranged attitude, picking on every little thing, how they talked, how they walked, the stupid questions they would have as if they were supposed to just magically know the answers to, and to size me up for some kind of ridicule or trickery. So I would respond in kind and rudeness. I would be very short with people and not give them anything that they could possibly use. In high school with my friend John, he and his dad decided to give me a ride home one day to spare me the walk in the rain. We connected. Me and John were in the same school and same grades together. I couldn't hide anything from him. I was in a position to open up other things to him, such as
Remember we learned that if somebody severed the human spinal cord, they'll become instantly paralyzed?
Let's see, when did the final come out? The final. (2010).
it was another.
One of the things that has been very evident to me throughout my life covering politics, and even when I was first getting
being a health jobless stations.
Don't look up. (2022).
Our first speaker.
At Spelman and later at Boston University, Zinn, a charismatic
involved and interested in politics is the deleterious effect of right-wing media and how they effectively brainwash people, and that's the whole point. That's the business model. Well, now we get some further verification of that notion. This is in the New York Times Siena poll of Republican primary voters. 91% of these Republican voters who trust Fox don't think Trump committed serious crimes. 85% who trust Fox say Republicans must stand by Trump. 83% who trust Fox don't see wrongdoing on January 6th. Now, this is even though we've had hundreds and hundreds of people, I think it's over 700, who have been tried, found guilty, and sent to prison. We're talking about a network that went back and forth from, oh my God, this violence is being done by far-left radicals, it's being done by Antifa, and it's terrible. They went from that to, actually, yeah, maybe it was some of our guys, but the violence was based because they're trying to save their country. Which is it? Is it terrible or is it based? Which is it? Look, they are what we call narrative humpers. They have a mission. They have a goal. Their goal is defend the Republican Party and defend Trump at all costs and bury the facts, hide them, obfuscate them, just try to get your narrative through to the people. And that's what I cannot stand. These people are just deeply dishonest, man. Deeply dishonest. So 91% saying they don't think Trump committed serious crimes. Understand, I literally lost count of how many indictments there are. So you're telling me that, I don't know, 12 indictments, 38 indictments, whatever the number happens to be, you don't think even one of those is legit? Putting aside all the January 6th stuff, putting aside the fake electors, putting aside all of that, let's just say taking classified documents, not turning them over when the intelligence agency said you have to turn them over, destroying video evidence of this, and by the way, a lot of those classified documents were the highest level of classified, like nuclear secrets.
Counting down.
Even that. These are the same people, by the way, who wanted to lock up and throw away the key. Edward Snowden, Chelsea Manning, Julian Assange, people who are actual heroes because what they did was a matter of conscience. Hey, my fellow Americans are being lied to, and I'm going to show them what's going on with their money and in their name, these war crimes we're committing. Those were heroes. These guys said, lock them up, throw away the key. But when it comes to Trump, taking stuff that actually shouldn't be taken, like nuclear secrets at the highest level, 91%. He didn't commit any serious crimes. None. Zero. And that's to say nothing of the crimes he committed before he even became president. Stiffing all the workers that he stiffed. You know, we've...
I want to acknowledge these two.
Gone into detail about all those things. Trump University was a complete and utter fraud. It was literally a fraud. He had to pay millions of dollars to people who he defrauded. All right, so I got more for you on this. 91% of Fox News viewers believe Trump has not committed federal crimes, but only 42% support him in the primary. So this is of the Fox News audience. The latest New York Times Siena poll offered former President Donald Trump a lot to be happy about on Monday. Not only did the poll show him with a commanding 37-point lead over Governor Ron DeSantis in the GOP primary, but the poll also found he enjoys a 76% favorable rating among
Why do you build me up?
1% of Republican voters said they do not believe Trump committed serious federal crimes. 17% agreed Trump has committed serious federal crimes. So let me repeat that one. Only 17% of Republican voters said, yes, Trump committed serious federal crimes. Only 17%. That's fewer than 2 out of 10. Another 12% refused to answer or did not know. Now, my guess is those people know he committed crimes, but they want to downplay it, so they're like, I don't know. When broken down by which media sources respondents most gather their news from, 91% of respondents who identified Fox News viewers said Trump has not committed federal crimes. For those GOP voters who watch mainstream media, only 52% said Trump has not committed any crimes. That's interesting. Both Fox News and mainstream media viewers accounted for 24% respectively of the GOP electorate polled. If you take somebody who watches Fox News, 9 out of 10 times they're going to be like, Trump hasn't done anything wrong. You take somebody who watches Fox News and CNN or mainstream media, and all of a sudden that number drops to 52% said Trump hasn't committed any crimes. So if you're conservative or conservative-leaning, you're a Republican voter, but you try to balance your media diet a little bit, you go Fox News and you go CNN or MSNBC or whatever.
They're both
Those
shit.
people, they get exposed to more things, to a different perspective, to other information, and all of a sudden it drops to only half of these people say Trump didn't commit any serious crimes. And look, I don't even think CNN and MSNBC do a particularly good job. I think they're the corporate Democrat propaganda network in the same way that Fox News is the Republican Party propaganda network and the Donald Trump propaganda network. I don't think they do a good job. But certainly watching, if you're going to watch Fox News, you should also balance that out with CNN or MSNBC.
My dad does that.
I don't think you should watch any mainstream media. You
before.
should rely on shows like this, and you should read the original source material, Washington Post, New York Times, AP, Reuters, whoever it may be, right? But if you're going to watch Fox News, also balance it with CNN or MSNBC, because then those people become a hell of a lot more reasonable.
They can go fuck themselves.
Simply by being exposed to another perspective. When asked if they are considering supporting Trump in the primary, 42% of Fox News viewers said yes, while 43% said no. That's interesting. There was the directive that came from
It seems
the
that when
Murdochs.
you show a part of yourself
Hey man, we're done with
that
Trump.
is the least bit
Republicans got
vulnerable,
blown out in the midterms.
someone
Now
takes
we're supporting
advantage of
DeSantis.
you.
This was
One
the directive.
of them steps
Now,
on you.
They've
One
been
of the best
wishy-washy
video
on
games
that.
ever made.
They've been wishy-washy.
Advantage of you.
They cover some of the bad stuff against Trump, some of the crimes, but really, oftentimes they play defense for him. They've tried to pump up Ron DeSantis, albeit in a sad way that hasn't really landed. But even given this slight change in direction at the network, you have 42% who say they're considering supporting Trump, and 43% saying no. So that other 43% is split between probably Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Tim Scott, Vivek Ramaswamy, etc. But like, just a slight change, and like lemmings, everybody follows. This is a case study in just how well propaganda works. Because they want to impress upon people, actually, Trump didn't do anything wrong. That's exactly what they took out of it. They also want to impress upon people, hey, you know, yeah, we like Trump, but maybe you go DeSantis, or maybe look at the other candidates, and boom, just like that, 43% to 42% considering Trump and not considering Trump. Combined, the Fox News viewers and mainstream media viewers accounted for 53% of the GOP electorate surveyed on this question.
All right.
However, when asked if they viewed Trump favorably, a net 76% of Republicans said they did, while a net 22% said they viewed him unfavorably. 2% refused to answer or did not know. Among Fox News viewers, Trump scored an 85% net favorability rating and 15% unfavorable rating. Mainstream media viewers were more split, 55% giving Trump a net favorable and 43% a net unfavorable. So again, the more you balance it with other perspectives, the better off you are, the more connected to reality you are. This reminds me of that old study, which showed that people who literally watch no news at all are actually more informed on the world than Fox News viewers. Now, why do I say that? Look, their whole goal is to brainwash. Their whole goal is to misinform. Their whole goal is to propagandize and narrative hump. And I'll just give you one example, because this is something we talked about earlier. But here's what they're saying about this new round of indictments over January 6th and the fake electors. Here's the argument they're making, and then I'll show you the reality.
It's really hard for me to take this seriously. And I don't think any sensible American should, they should take what's happening very seriously. It should anger them. But the actual charges you can't take seriously. Their feelings masquerading as facts. Their opinions trying to be passed off as crimes. It's garbage dressed up with a legal thesaurus. And it's criminalizing thoughts and it's criminalizing speech. You have every right to think an election might be rigged.
So this is the line that every single one of the Fox News hosts went with. And if you read page number 2 of the indictment, Jack Smith addresses this and responds to it. And the way he addresses it is to say, Trump had every right to deny the election if he wanted to claim falsely that there was fraud that changed the outcome. He also had every right to formally challenge this stuff through the proper legal process, as he did with the 60-plus court cases. But he goes on to say, it became unlawful when he started doing the fake elector stuff. When there was a paper trail of the fake elector stuff. When he was told by literally dozens of people who are high-level government officials, you're wrong, there's no evidence of this, we can't do this, and he proceeded anyway. So they bring this up, either not knowing or not caring, that this exact point is addressed on page 2 of the 45-page indictment. There's no other word for this but misinformation. There's no other way to describe this but either total ignorance or just lying. And this is the problem with Fox News. It is a brainwashing factory. The whole point is to brainwash.
About the same
So look,
time,
like if people don't know, I feel kind of bad for
Just
them, and I
because
want to
you've
help
earned a
them,
degree
right?
in your chosen
But if people
field,
are
it doesn't mean
given
you're
this
going to find your
information
dream
and they
job.
learn this information in no
Dream
uncertain terms,
jobs
you
are
can read the
usually
indictment and see exactly how this point is addressed. He says you have every right to deny the election. That's not what this is about. If you know it and you choose to disregard it, well, then I don't feel so bad for you. You know, then that's on you. Then you are choosing to shove your head in the sand.
Join the military.
You're choosing to be misinformed on purpose, to play for a team.
Yeah, you see that fucking you're pumping a fucking.
And I don't respect that at all.
Why don't you throw
I don't respect that at all.
fucking first in the shit
So anyway,
belongs.
look, this is the deleterious effect of Fox News. This is the brainwashing in action. 91%. 91% of Fox News viewers believe Trump had not committed any federal
I think
crimes.
I covered everything.
As we're about to see very clearly, that is provably, objectively false. Hear me now, quote me later. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now.
Actually, you know what would be easier?
I know you
So I
want
just
to.
go to the edit itself. Fall of Illuminati, the Illuminati pyramid scheme. I can't wait I want to go through all this. Not now.
The tone that she had, like in messages, was
Be a fun video. It's only a week ago, so it's probably a good culmination of everything that happened.
night and day.
So, this is actually her on all accounts. This is her on all accounts, spreading misinformation and trying to enhance her own image.
What you did was unacceptable. It goes so far beyond any petty beefs or squabbles or hurt feelings.
There is not, nor will there ever be a price you can pay me to where I will put up with being a verbal punching bag.
She paid people to dig up the harassment for months. You acted like this was a war and that you should be recruiting soldiers to come after us. You lied. And I can only think that's because you wanted us gone. Not just off of YouTube. You wanted these lies to come into our everyday life offline.
What she did to Wonder is the most gross expose I have ever seen.
I had to be walking on eggshells 24/7 due to someone's unpredictable and erratic behavior.
This wasn't just trying to separate yourself from us like we asked for and worked to do. Stop going after people who were your friends. Stop bullying other creators.
I'm gonna try to keep it vague so I don't mention this person's channel, but it's a.
I kind of miss this. I've been missing people who actually edit their shit together. Holy shit. Even if this video sucks. Oh, there's a clip I missed. Oh, shit. I think it's been 15 minutes. Oh, no, 2 minutes. Set timer for 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Counting down.
Just someone editing their shit. Alright, so before the Fox 5, we have Case I Can't Forget. Oh, right. I'm the Prince of All Sins once again. Oh, there's the hoarder house. Missed that. So that's a lunchtime documentary. Quantum Leap, Dragon Ball Z, Beavis and Butthead Do America. I want to know when that came out. I kind of want to watch the new Beavis and Butthead before it gets, you know, irrelevant. 1996, Jesus Christ. So long ago. Alright. Hoarder's house. Aspect that.
Plain and simple.
One who for better and you. Trent rests more.
This video. Where is this from? Lippy.
But I am.
All right. There we go. Demons, inner demons. Okay. Oh shit, now we need the music. I'm gonna go through every single one of these tracks. Make sure I got them in order. Dark. Yeah, I'm not gonna have time for my fucking book tonight. That's for sure. That's okay. Tomorrow I'll be able to start working on it more.
Very small YouTuber, but she had like 5 sources. You know, one was Wikipedia, one was BuzzFeed, drinks a coffee, is distracted the whole time.
As long as it doesn't get too manipulative, like telling me how I should feel, or whatever. Share with me a story. This is our host.
Am I late to the party?
I am sorry that I was ever friends with you.
Did you see Legal Eagle was accused of plagiarism by another YouTuber called Illuminati?
I can completely understand why she would be compared to Creepshow Art after this situation.
She went from seeming to be petty to seeming to be outright malicious and full-on evil.
This is a perpetual onslaught of accusations backed by convincing evidence by the people who knew her best.
She seems vengeful. It seems like she has a pattern. She has a pattern of being vengeful towards content creators in her past.
For the message that I sent originally to be taken in such a harsh way and to be justified as a reason to say that many things about me, I feel like it was a very intentional misunderstanding.
You claim you don't know what goes on in my personal life, but you go in depth about my living situation, my views on life, my depression, my car, my dog, and my mental health.
And yep, Illuminati's right there with her alt account.
What's that saying? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. A statement that terrifies me, because lately on YouTube, it's really turning out to be true. A statement that the Illuminati, also known as Blair, now knows to be true. Blair was praised for a long time on YouTube for being a sort of online YouTube vigilante, exposing scams and unjust, corrupt businesses. An anti-MLMer, and originally a YouTube channel that greatly inspired my own YouTube channel. Blair's YouTube channel and her triangle avatar gathered a large community of like-minded people who wanted to stand up for the little guys who were being taken advantage of by those in power. Big businesses, scammers, and celebrities who were using their powers of money and influence to take advantage of those who had no money, power, or influence. But the problem is, as Blair gained more and more followers, she herself gained more money, more power, and more influence.
Blair would oftentimes tell me that she herself had enough money to retire at any given moment. Now, she was a very successful businesswoman, and from the surface, that did seem true. Blair even had a few BMWs of her own.
And then what you start to do with those things really matters, because you cannot be someone with a large amount of money, power, and influence who's misusing their money and power and influence behind the scenes, and yet simultaneously critiquing others who are misusing their money, power, and influence. That doesn't work. And yet that's exactly what Blair did. She became a giant hypocrite. Blair became the exact type of person that she was constantly critiquing on her YouTube channel.
I was fired. Blair had taken the car as well as my belongings. My life had been set back to square one.
What I do care about is how lies were weaponized against myself and my friends.
And she like spews literal lies about people. Literal fucking lies about people.
Blair is not a good person, and Blair has hurt a lot of people in the YouTube community, including myself. And worst of all, beyond Blair being a giant hypocrite, Blair felt this need to take down others within the YouTube community in order to stay on top in her mind. And I was one of those people that Blair tried to take down at one point. Blair became a massive bully to many people. In fact, one of the biggest bullies on YouTube. All so she could keep her status as one of the top commentary channels on YouTube until it all came back to bite her in the ass. So Blair, this is why you don't treat someone like shit. Or maybe this is why you don't treat a lot of people like shit. You can't just sue everyone on YouTube until the end of time.
Now, obviously, I'm not saying that Illuminati would come out and threaten them and you know, stop them from speaking, although that is actually something which did apparently happen in this situation, but yeah.
And you could have just avoided all of this and a lot of lawyer fees if you were, I don't know, maybe just nice to people. I really didn't want to make this video.
Oh god, yes you did. I mean, okay, fine. I'll believe you. I just hate hearing that. I heard this phrase too many times. It's had its effect on me.
As most of my longtime followers know, as you've been asking for a video on this topic. And honestly, I'm really ashamed of how long it took me to make this video because of how...
Yeah, never mind. I take that back. I apologize.
Stars and...
how much I praise people for speaking out about their story. And yet, honestly, my mental health for the past 2 months couldn't really handle speaking about my experiences with Blair. I know I've been silent for such a long time, and so many people have wondered what has taken place, whether Blair forced me to be silent, and what happened. And so I'm going to be sharing it all today. Blair caught me at such a vulnerable time. 2 years ago, I was really early in my pregnancy. I was extremely sick, in such a vulnerable state. I was in and out of the hospital. I had to stay on bed rest. I want to talk about how I've been doing physically. For a while, I've been talking about how I've been feeling really sick. I can't post a lot because I'm so sick. And a lot of you guys have guessed that I'm pregnant because, you know, that's a realistic guess. You know, it's, I understand. And all of this stress of the drama that Blair put me through really sent me over the edge at that point. For me to try this many times to extend the olive branch, I feel like it was a very intentional misunderstanding. It just feels stupid and it's stressful. And I was so afraid that I was going to lose my pregnancy, possibly because of the stress and how sick I was. Someone that I looked up to and idolized and respected was trying to destroy me at the most vulnerable possible time.
What I think I see here in this situation is we have a large creator strong-arming a small creator to silence their criticism of them.
And when the dust cleared from all the drama, all I wanted was for Blair to just do better. So when all of this happened and Blair was exposed for hurting even more people than just me, in a weird way, it really disappointed me. But to offer some context, because I'll probably mention it throughout this video, over 2 years ago, I had a personal phone call with Blair. I did not record this phone call. I don't know if Blair did, but neither of us gave our consent to record this phone call. So throughout this video, I'll give my personal recollection of what was in this phone call. I remember it very vividly, but again, it was over 2 years ago, and I did not record this phone call. I have to voice this over because whenever I try to film this, it makes me a little bit too emotional. And if I'm just constantly crying on camera, I don't think this video is going to get very far. I've recently received confirmation that though I did not consent to this phone call being recorded, unfortunately, Blair recorded the phone call without my permission and has likely kept a recording of that phone call if she ever needed to use it against me, which is slightly terrifying because I don't really know how she could clip it out of context if she wanted to, or take one small snippet and make it sound like I'm saying something completely different than what I was saying. And I don't know if she'll try to release audio snippets of that phone call after this video. All I can say is it feels incredibly violating that she did that to me, since I had enough respect for her at the time not to record our private conversation. So I want to speak to Blair right here, and only right here in this video. Did you really record a conversation with a pregnant person without their consent after pretending to be their friend?
Oh, okay, come on. You record a conversation with a pregnant person? Why does it matter if they're pregnant or not? Come on.
Is that really the type of person that you are? Is that really the extent of what you did to me? But I'll talk about more of my personal story with Blair later in this video. I want to start off this video as a
Be right back. Right, 15 more minutes.
I normally do in a structured way, and at the end I'll share my personal story with Blair. If you're new, my name's Madison. My channel is this one, Cool World Happy Mind, and I cover people, influencers, celebrities, scammers who've taken advantage of or caused harm to their audience. If you like those sort of topics, subscribe, and if you like this video, give it a like. And now let's get into this video on how Illuminati became the biggest bully on YouTube. And before we discuss the most personal video topic that I've ever made a video on, I want to discuss today's sponsor. I'm filming a sponsor. Do you have something to say? Okay, I want to discuss today's sponsor, which can help you with your personal finances, Rocket Money. Life is full of exciting changes, like landing a new job, buying a new car, or even tying the knot. But for me, it was the desire to renovate my very old home and pay off my car that sparked a whole new financial challenge. It was especially the challenge of saving up to renovate my home that has taken me a lot of time and financial planning. And I really needed help from a platform like Rocket Money. Rocket Money is an all-in-one personal finance platform that has been a game changer in helping me achieve my home renovation goals. First and foremost, Rocket Money made it a breeze to cancel all those unnecessary subscriptions that were silently draining my funds. I always forget how many monthly subscriptions I've agreed to, and with the money I saved from canceling those subscriptions, I could save more monthly. It felt like a financial category. Simple sneaking products and you have to see you get on. Illuminati, also known as Blair or Blairzon, was born on January 23rd. The Illuminati YouTube channel is most commonly associated with Blair's pyramid avatar, with lots of people creating fan art for Blair, Blair even creating plushies for her pyramid avatar. Though originally Blair dipped her toes, that's a weird visual, tried her hand at a few different YouTube styles of content before doing the pyramid avatar, and initially showed her face in her videos, making interesting story time videos.
This is a story about poop. You just thought you were going there with this, and then all of a sudden you're like, you know, out Mona Lisa's arm. I tried to pick the poop up with my hands. It broke in half in the toilet.
And often collaborated with different YouTubers, most notably Tommy C's news channel SFTP, where she played a character called Sarah J. Warren. The letters of her name spelling out SJW, which is supposed to stand for Social Justice Warrior, where Blair was supposed to play an over-the-top social justice warrior character on the show to make fun of social justice warriors.
Sarah J. Warren is unapologetically feminist, and if they don't like it, then I would love to drink their overprivileged male tears, okay?
Which is a stark contrast to the content that Blair makes on her channel today, and the podcast she did for the past few years, The Leftist Mafia. So for a lot of fans, it was kind of shocking to see her so overtly play a character making fun of social justice warriors. The main takeaway here being, does Illuminati just stand for nothing? Of course, your views can change over time, but when it becomes a pattern where your views change just to fit your platform and brand whenever it benefits you, it's just you not standing for anything, which is the complete opposite of, I don't know, literally your entire brand and platform and everything I thought Illuminati stood for. Blair was given admin access to Tommy C's news channel, but it was his channel, not Blair's. Basically, Tommy was the owner and Blair was the collaborator. It's been alleged that Blair left the news channel because she got mad at Tommy C for...
To spare all the mundane details, because there are plenty of mundane details that are still locked in my head, there were ups and downs with this new group. Times I was singled out as...
Okay, does this count? Oh, this is it. Okay. Pouring out. Asher. Oh, there's 2 different tracks there. That doesn't help me. Did I use this? Tangled. Alright, we were just so far so good. In order. There it is, bloody instrumental. Next. Oh, someone else entirely. Oh no, it's Haley Labs. Fuck. There we go, copyright free. Seems like it is. Casual Desire, last one. That's everything. What is the overworld tune made by? What is the information on this one? Kevin MacLeod.
Making a fat joke about another news host on the channel.
She comes up to me and she goes, honey, I called Rico fat.
But on this news channel, Blair also seemingly participated in fat jokes.
As much as she, you know, perpetuated the jokes of him being fat, she couldn't handle fat jokes about him.
Apparently he's fat. Cut that out. Don't cut it out.
No, comrade.
Do not cut that out, comrade. Leave that. Comedy golden, you know it.
So it seems like there was this sort of cultural norm of everyone making fun of everyone, and then all of a sudden Illuminati just decided she didn't agree with one joke and cut everyone off, which I think is a little bit too convenient. I think there was maybe a different reason why she left the group. I think she started to decide that she didn't want to be associated anymore with the channel and the character she was playing as she was branching off and rebranding her own personal channel. And it just became a convenient excuse when Tommy C made this fat joke. But that's just my opinion. I think personally, she didn't want her character on this show, which is anti-social justice warrior, coming to light when her main channel starts taking off, because she knew it would likely cause her controversy. And I think that because when
Yeah, she saw the future. Ending statements. Almost there. To the tail end. Alright, we need to make a scroll. Boom. Alright. Save.
At least a summary experience. Everybody. I'm planning to do a full in-depth, including a regular solely the purpose of
Oh, I just want one of these to change colors. Alright, I was going to capitalize it, yeah.
see of my experience and show everybody. I'm
Why is it?
Are nowhere near.
Okay.
Once again, this isn't about hair scars.
Nope. Need to go further.
Use it.
There we go. Oh, I think I know what's going on. Yeah, there we go. Time to stir. Okay, that's all done.
Have a nice day. Is. We have nothing else to compare it to. How else are you going to think?
Alright, see. Alright, that's good. Got the credits in. Alright, almost done.
Horrible.
Alright, I'm probably gonna end up exporting this more than once because I'm probably going to see something I need to fix. Every time I think I'm done, there's always one or two things that need to be fixing. It's gonna be better to just watch it exported without any, without my computer having to work hard to render it.
Movies, any from talk.
All right. Good. Got all the credits in there. Let's fold it over.
Book.
Boom. Oh yeah. Okay. So, assuming this is done, gonna be working on the book tomorrow. I'm gonna start making highlights for Anthrocon, Furry Week in Atlanta, Motor City FurCon. Do weekly game streams again. Between all that, I'll go from there. Fuck. It'd be nice just to have like a week. You know, like an off week for your job. Wouldn't that be nice? Like, okay, you work 3 weeks out of the month. Here's your week off. Every month, a week off. That's how it should be. There's enough people on the fucking planet. Corporations make enough money. They can afford it. They can afford switching over employees 4-day work weeks and giving them a week off every month. Anyways. Okay. all the audio seems good. Oh, I needed to make sure one thing. You make sure all my adjustments were done on the ending statement video. Yeah, right here. Audio 2. Should have all the effects in place. That needs to be there. Yep, okay.
Where you get this disconnect and they start.
I think everything's leveled. And Demons by CraftyAndy. I guess one thing I should title it to make sure it separates itself from everything else that has the same name. Then no audio. There's audio. Why is there no audio when I bring it up? Weird. Alright, you know what that means. We gotta open this. Did it convert? There it goes. Alright, gotta wrap it up for now. Good night.